What is going on, YouTube? Welcome back to AV Automatic Victory, where we all win together through peace, love, and transparency. And welcome to another episode of Matters of the People, featuring myself, AV Automatic Victory. So, in today's podcast, we are going to be talking about why society, whether it's society, whether it's institutions, why is it that more and more adults, or why is it that adults or people in general are being told to do things or prepare them in terms of obedience over than actually getting them prepared for like living life for their own? So perfect example. I feel like a lot of institutions nowadays focus on making sure that their kids and their peers be more obedient, like say work in a factory or in a 9 to 5 or 8 to 4, whatever the case may be, rather than, say them preparing those peers, preparing their kids, preparing, like say, these young adults to know how to take care of their taxes, for example, how to fix their car, how to, really make sure that the credit is up to par, all the life skills that, quite frankly, a lot of them, I can't believe I can't even say this right now. A lot of millennials in particular that struggle with this. So it's a whole lot that goes into this. Shout out to the two people that is in the podcast as well. So what I am going to do is that I am going to play my traditional automatic victory introduction video, and then we will get right into this juicy topic. So let's get into that right now. Hey, what's going on? Back with y'all again. So, what do I mean when I say obedience? What do I mean when I say that a lot of institutions are more focused on people having them be so more so in terms of like obedience, or a case may be? Well, think of it like this. If you are a person that is young, let's say you're between the ages of say 15 to 18, obviously, things are a lot more different, with COVID. But let's just say pre-COVID, for example. Let's say you're 15, about 18 years old. Throughout your entire life, you've been told by, like, say, your parents, your grandparents, your teachers, your peers, in terms of, hey, if you're really interested in something that you like, say, political science or engineering, for example, you should go to college or go to a specific college so you can get your degree, where a case would be. So you have these great young minds actually go into college. Some people don't necessarily have to go to college. Some people might go into, say, like to an international program or learning program, or a case may be. They get their degree, or they get their particular standard, or that the particular certificate that allows them to use in a resume. But when they get it, they're not mentally, physically, and more importantly, financially prepared to take on things that really are essential to be as an adult. So that's what I mean when I say, why is it that there's so much significance in institutions teaching each other's peers in terms of obedience rather than true preparation. But I don't want to talk y'all daggone heads off. So let me introduce one of the two people that will be in this special episode of Matters of the People. Please welcome Mr. MarcSoChilled. What's going on? Welcome back, Mr. Brown. How you holding up, my guy?
Doing well. How about you, my bro?
I am good. I am blessed. I am eternally grateful for you to be willing to hop on back to Matters of the People podcast with me, as I am very, very grateful for you, sir. So,
no problem.
So let's get into it, because I believe our other special guest appearance is going to be coming in shortly. But from your perspective, Officer Brown, or Detective Brown, that's what I'm going to call you, Detective Brown. If you guys remember from the last episode of Criminal Justice Reform, he did an absolutely great job with that podcast. But no, let me ask you, Marcus, what is it about, from your perspective, do you feel that institutions like, say, education, or it doesn't even have to necessarily be institutions, do you feel like people in general are more so particularly craving on teaching their peers and their loved ones obedience simply because that's what they were growing up and that's how they were trained on? What are your comments and thoughts on that?
I would say they do based on how, from their experience, they're more about just teaching it because of how, what they went through. It's like a cycle going on. So I'm gonna have to really think about that. That's a good point.
Oh yeah, no, because I feel like this is one of those topics where, yeah, we know that. I mean, we see it every day, right? We see people. Shout out to the two people that's in the live as well. I mean, we see it daily, right? We see, we see that there are some people who graduate from college and they're blessed to, really get into the career or the job field that they actually like, or a case would be. And then we also see, the other part of it where, perfect example. So I'm pretty much one of the few people, or not few, but massive majority of this group where you go to college. For me, it was political science. Always used to be love government, or at least understand the study of it. Graduated with my 2 degrees, one in criminal justice, like yourself, and then the other was in political science. And within the time that I graduated, which was 2017 to, I want to say 2020, it was a struggle. Just trying to, and not to say that college isn't a bad outlet or that it's a bad thing. I think me personally, when it comes to preparing people to be adults, I think college is a great way for people to be successful. I think it's a great platform, especially if you're in a platform where you're going to be in something like, say, STEM. So what I mean by STEM is I mean by like science, technology, engineering, math, and medicine. A field like that where for certain that this is something that you're passionate in, a career where you're going to have to get your degrees, then by all means, college is the best outlet to go to. But if you're doing something like government or something like business or something that's outside of those things, I don't think that college would necessarily be the particular right outlet for that. Mainly because when we think about preparation, most people, when we think about preparation, we're thinking in terms of like, okay, like, let me make sure that my daughter or my son has enough. Like, perfect example, if you got a mother that's preparing her children's lunches and stuff like that, she's going to want to make sure that they got the meat, the veggies, the proteins, and things of that nature. But it's crazy to me that as they get older, as society has progressed, we see less of that. It's almost as if we got into a point where we're like, oh, well, they should know how to do these things. They should know, they got this vast internet now. Like, what the heck is going on? And it's like, no. Thank God that we ourselves have like great peers to kind of like be in our heads and be like, hey, did you read today? Did you get something accomplished today? Because I feel like that's another element to it. We don't have enough people that are actually willing to, at the very least, try to still be in support, not just towards like their peers, but towards each other as well. So that's just how I feel about it. But let me get our other esteemed guest, Mr. A.L.O.T. King.
What's good? What's good,
We got
yo?
the whole DMV squad in the building. It's lit.
Oh
yeah. What up, Marcus? What's up, man?
What's good, man? How you been, bro?
I'm good, bro. How you doing? What's up with you?
That's good, man. Been well, man. Just enjoying this like nice weather that's approaching this week.
Yes, Lord. Thank the Lord. Yes, see, Jesus.
Yeah.
It's so nice. Stop laughing at me, Tony.
But I definitely do see where you're coming from when you was talking about it, because depending on what program that you're going for, it can work out, but not for every major that is going to be how can I say it? It's going to turn out right for an individual, because I know there are like a great percentage of people who go to college, get good grades, was on a scholarship, get like maybe a 3.0 or higher or 2.0, whatever, graduate in 4 years or 7 years or whatever, end up having a hard time getting the job. And it's like they have to force themselves to go in another path to survive and make money, you know. And I know, and like with the other percentages, there are some that go to college for like majors like IT, nursing, boom, they get right in. But my reaction to college is it's not always a promise that you're going to get what you want once you graduate, because it's going to be like very competitive in this world. It's going to be hard. The weight game takes forever, or it just might not happen when you get in your field, unfortunately. And like I was saying, you have to force yourself to go into another field that you never even imagined while you was in college, because it's so hard to get in that field. So,
so Mr. Protect, let me ask you this question, because with us, the three of us, knowing the great friendship that we've had, why do you feel that there's so much less people? Well, I'll give you two parts. The first part is, why do you feel like less people are going to college now, even like COVID or a case would be? And then the second part to that question is, do you think moving forward, do you feel as if there will be less institutions or less pressure in terms of people going into college, or other outlets to kind of give people more preparation for like adult skills or things of that nature? Or do you feel like it's just more so going to be like kind of the same of like we're kind of like going through now? Shout out to the two people in the live as well.
Well, start off with, like, I think less people going to college because they know it's a damn scheme. First of all, you know what I'm saying? Like, you spend all this money to go to school, get this degree, all these loans, you in all this debt when you get out of school, and then you end up, I don't like saying this, but you end up working at a grocery store, or you end up working at McDonald's somewhere, something like that, for a year and a half, 2 years. And then you finally get in your field. By the time you get in your field, you're $100,000 in debt. You got to pay all this money back. You might not pay it back for the end of your life anyway. But you know what I'm saying? Once you die, you don't got to pay it anyway. But who cares? But you're stuck in all this debt, and if you don't know how to maintain your credit messed up, and then you're sitting there, you can't do nothing with your life. You're sitting there at a standstill. But you did all this schooling, put all this work in, took all these exams, you did all this, put all this work in to just earn the same amount of money, or like $1.50 more than the next person. What was the point of going to school, bro? Like, and I think the elevation of entrepreneurship too. Like, people are saying, like, you see these young kids out here, 16, 17, making 10 grand a month selling clothes. Why would you go to school for? Why? Why? But you just do the same thing he was doing. You might not make the same amount of money, but hey, I'd rather shoot for that, be my own boss, rather than go to school, spend $100 grand in school, and then I'm sitting here the same position as Johnny Two Shoes over there with just a high school diploma. Why? What's the point? And I think that's going to be a new wave. I think entrepreneurship's a new wave. I think everybody's going to try to be an entrepreneur. The people are tired of working 9 to 5s. In general, I'm not saying everyone is, but it just seems like more and more people I'm going to school for, bro. Why? And then, you know what I'm saying? Even high schools are wilding out now. Like, people get out of high school. They don't get their high school diploma no more. So they're not going to go to college. They don't get their high school diploma. They can't go to. So if you go to community college, and most of them want you to have a high school diploma. So can't go to college. So you got to find your way to hustle how you want to hustle, legally, of course.
That's right. I'm glad you mentioned the legally part, because we're not doing no illegal mess.
Go be entrepreneurs, because like they don't have a choice. They can't go to school. They can't do what the normal people do. So they're gonna go ahead and chase their dream how they want to chase their dream, and that's what they're gonna do it. So I'm gonna see less and less colleges, less people going to college, less and less institutions, unless they have been established for a very long time. And those schools start shutting down because less people want to go to college. People don't think it's worth it anymore. Unlike when we were going to school 10 years ago, it was like, go to school, get a job. Now it's go be an entrepreneur. So if you're making this money, hey, go be the next young boy that don't get arrested. Go be the next
not the young. Oh Lord.
Wait. Hey, wait. Excuse me. What did you just say? What did you just say?
He got into some crap, man. That man got locked up again. It's how the feds got
What,
him
who,
this time. He locked
it
up
be
in
a
the
young
feds.
boy?
Yeah,
It's federal this time.
we discussed about this. He got locked up again.
Another topic for another day. Another topic for another day.
Yeah, I don't think we
But
can
all
talk
I'm saying,
about
like,
this.
people want to go be the next rapper or be the next
Right.
entrepreneur or something like that.
Yeah,
Next boss. They try to be a boss. They're not trying to sit here and work for someone else. So I think that trend will continue.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, you know, things have definitely changed. It's like, you know, it's not like how it used to be back in the 80s or the 60s where you could go to school.
One decade changes every day.
Yeah, it ain't like the 60s where you could go to school and then after you graduate from college, the next day after graduation, boom, you already hired in your field.
Mm-hmm.
You would think that when you get out of school, you get a daggone lie.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, and it seemed like
that goes to McDonald's.
Right. And it seemed like in today's world, it seemed like joining the military is better than going to college. That's my opinion.
So
Going
I'm
into the
glad
military.
you touched on the military because look at
I'm just I mean, you get money.
Why you got your look? You see Botek's face? He said, look, I'm glad you brought up. But see, this is why this is why I have you on this podcast because I want to go over a little bit in terms of some of the other methods of preparation. I do feel that the military rather, so whether that's the Marines or Navy, because I know this as well. I mean, my dad in particular, he was always big on me in terms of like saying, hey, you don't have to necessarily like join the force. You can do something as minor as say going to the Peace Corps, going to the AmeriCorps. There's always like a unique volunteer / military opportunity as well. But outside of those, do you guys, both of you guys, do you guys feel that there are other ways to prepare, not just young adults and younger kids, but just prepare more people to actually be an adult, to actually at least know some essential skills so that in the present and within the future, we won't have to worry so much of a lot of people, living in poverty or a lot of people not being able to manage their, to Tony's point, being able to manage their credit score or their consumer report, things of that nature. Because when I think of rural preparation, I think in terms of me, one of the things that I do with my nephew, one of my nephews who lives in Florida, every time I interact with him, whether it's through FaceTime, whether it's on the phone, I'm always like letting him talk more than me. Because if I don't let him talk to me and let him express himself, I'm not going to really know in terms of like, okay, what is it that he understands now? How is he really feeling? Is he understanding certain things for his age? Is there certain things that he might need a little bit more help with, or a case may be? So, but I mean, but what do you guys, what are some other ways that we can actually do a better job of actually preparing the people?
I would say, in my opinion, it would be nice if they had like more programs, like such as mentoring programs. Like for the guys, have a mentor, a male mentor to a group of whether they're young men or just older adults about how to become more of a man. And just like on the women's side, they need to have like a women's mentor and have a very mature lady who can mentor to women who are younger or older about how to become a woman and how to just be the best that you can be in life. That's teach them how to manage money, how to stay away from bad habits such as drugs or whatever, how to not get into any trouble and just be safe. So I think that would work.
To me, I think it starts at home, bro. It starts at home. Like these parents need better teaching their kids. You know what I'm saying? It's a generational thing, especially in our community. You know what I'm saying? In our African American Israelite community, like we don't teach our kids these things at home. what I'm saying? I know my mom taught us. I know my mom taught me. I know your mom. And your mom taught you, Chris, and your pops and all that. But a lot of families don't have that luxury because it's kids having kids, bro. That's the main problem for kids having kids at 17, 18 years old. They don't know the world yet, bro. They have a whole life in front of them, like literally a whole nother life they have to raise. They don't know how to do that. So I think it starts at home, bro. Like grandparents, shit like that. The grandparents, you say, hey, look, it's how you manage your money. It's how you do this, how you do that. When they're kids, because they, like I said, their mom and dad don't know, bro. They 18, 19 years old. They don't know. They don't know, bro.
Oh yeah.
Start with the grandparents.
Exactly.
And teaching their parents and their parents teaching the kid, bro. And all of them kind of collaborate and teaching these things at home while they're at home. And also, I think schools need to start doing that, man. We don't need to know algebra. We don't need to know pre-calculus. It's in the way a waste of time. It's a waste of time. It's energy. It's a waste of time.
But bro, to your point, Tony, I feel like to your point, I feel like not only does it need to start at the home, it also needs to start with this wretched behind education system. Because here's my problem with our particular education system. The problem with our education system is that currently, right now, think of it like this: almost every particular aspect within our own quality of life has either evolved or it's progressed into a different way outside of education. When you think of technology, it's progressed. When you think of, transportation, it's progressed. The way that people tend to go about, cooking, or the different ways that people can like have their own meal prep and things of that nature. It's crazy to me how not only our education has progressed, but to your point, Tony, in terms of how we're doing a lack of a job in terms of informing the people within our families or the people that we actually live with, or rather cohabitate with. We don't prepare them enough to try to tell them things like, hey, this is how you can do your taxes. To shoot. I wish that, some of my daggone grandparents and that some of my daggone parents had put me to the side at freaking 8 to 10 years old and taught me how to balance a checkbook, how to know the difference between a W-2 and a 1089 Miss C. You know what I'm saying? You don't see. So that's why I wanted to create this podcast, because it's
deep.
It's a tricky, perplexing issue, but at the same time, it's one of those issues to where it's like, if we don't talk about it, if we don't at least try to engage with people and try to give them like examples of different ways to not just improve it, but also in terms of being able to just make it better for everyone to get a piece of the pie, that's where it gets into the problem. So that's why I feel like our education system, it has to progress.
And the people what AV is saying is like, dog, stop having these classes that are a waste of time, bro. Like, instead of like, I think classes like statistics are not a waste of time, because it teaches you probability. It teaches you, oh, hey, if you do this,
money,
this can happen, or this can happen. I mean, that's the one like numerics class. It's not a waste of time. But pre-calc and calc, like, teach me have a money management class. Hey, look, that's how you budget your money. You have this, have a budget. Hey, do this for your bills. Blah 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 blah. I have financial literacy classes in these high schools rather than pre-calc and calc. You don't take that with you when you leave school. You get a grade for it. That's it. You don't remember crap from it. It's not relevant to today's society. It doesn't do anything for you at all. Now, don't get me wrong. Like, elementary school education stay the same, because you need the basics. You need division. You need multiplication, addition, subtraction, those things. But like, you don't need algebra and pre-algebra and all that crap. That crap should be discarded from the school system.
Right.
You need to bring in more financial literacy stuff. When it comes to English classes, you have more topics to talk about society and how to fix society, and have kids write about that stuff more. Instead of writing about stuff that already happened in the past. The past, bro. You can't change the past. You can change the future.
History classes.
Talk about how to change the future. Like, that's what y'all need to talk about in schools. They don't do that enough. They don't. Like, same old crap that we got taught in the late 90s, early 2000s in elementary school. They're getting taught in 2021. Like, or in high school back in I graduated 2011, so 09, 07 through 2011.
Right.
They getting taught that same crap, same rhetoric that we don't need to hear no more. We know about it. They can get taught that at home. Evolution of the school system, bro. It's a waste of time.
And then they be
time and energy, bro. You brainwashing people.
And then they be wondering why, particularly within the whole entire U.S., 56% of students that are between the ages of 18 all the way past to 28, they drop out within that first year, not that second year, not the junior year, not even the whole daggone senior year. Their first half the time they're after the first semester. It's like, what's the point?
Right.
You know, college, Chris. You know, in college, man, social life is part of it, and they get caught up in the social life, and they start getting into some stuff they ain't supposed to be getting into. Start experiencing what they ain't supposed to be getting into, like Marcus said, like drugs and crap.
Yeah.
So it's a combination of like, it's not just the education system when it comes to college. These kids are their first time being free, so they don't really know how to act, bro. They just don't. So that's what comes with that. So.
Oh yeah.
I do want to go ahead and state that as well, though. When it comes to college, could drop off
because
of the school system.
Yeah, and it feels like, you know, just like what you guys are saying, they are teaching us, you know, great stuff, but at the con of it is that they are teaching us some stuff that doesn't even make sense, that we're going to forget about once we get older, once we are out on our 2 feet, trying to survive a life, trying to become adults. For example, history in high school. I get that we learn about the past, but what are we going to bring that history to once we become adults in our 20s? You know, moving out, paying for our own place, learning how to grow up and become men. Like, what is that going to do for us? Are we going to bring that with us? Exactly nothing. It's just a waste of time. Just a waste of time to, you know, whether you get an A or you get an F out the class.
Like, no matter, because not going to take it with you.
Right, and like I understand.
What you could take with you is a financial literacy class. You could take that with
you.
You could take topics like talking police brutality in an English class, or talk about, hey, how can we fight against these type of issues we're having to the 60s and keep repeating what they did in the 60s and 70s. How can we do it now?
Right.
In class. That's how. This happened in the 60s, blah, 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 blah. We know about the civil rights movement. And the funny thing is, you learn about it in middle school, and they try to reteach you that in high school like you didn't know that.
Right.
Like, come on, you're wasting my time. Wasting my time.
Exactly. That's why I was never really into, like, I mean, I was always good when it came to, like, history. But the reason why I never really was passionate about history, especially me growing up as a kid, was because thank the universe, I had people within my family that literally told me not just what I was, but what my real representation of the real Black history was, rather than this typical of, go from slavery to segregation. They make us watch The Roots, however long that takes, and then that's it. And then they be thinking, Black people are going to be
they talk about integration a little bit, and how integration didn't really become a thing until kind of like now. And it's because we said the same day on problem we're having the 60s.
Exactly. I think for me, one of the most important things that, you know, one of the most important classes back in high school, grade school, was PE, because health is very important. You know, believe it or not, it is one of the most important things in life, because, you know, it's all about protecting your body, working out, making sure that you don't do this and that, you won't damage your body, and, you know, just be in the best shape of your life.
Temple, man.
Like
trashing your temple, they said in the Bible. Hey, we're not taking prayer out of schools. What's wrong with y'all? Dang, bro.
What did you just say?
We got taking prayer out of schools for, bro.
Yeah.
Put that back in schools, bro.
They wild for that.
Put that
there
back
are
in
a lot of schools that are doing that. It's insane. And that's been something they've been doing for a long time now. It's man.
Put it back in schools, damn it. Put it back in schools. Put that back
Yeah.
there.
Well, I'll tell y'all this: if we had more classes, because I'll tell y'all, growing up, especially in my high school, there was only two. Actually, there was only 3 classes in my high school that really gave me an ideal sense in terms of how I was gonna have to operate in like during college and after college. Nutrition, right? Obviously, political policy, because depending on if you do go into law or the case would be, you got to know how to like not just write but articulate your words, articulate how you go about your speech, and sex ed. That's it. Those are only 3 schools that really gave me a sense in terms of like, okay, I know we question these, not question these 3 classes in a sense are going to be issues that I'm going to have to face as I get older as an adult. But everything else, the whole to you both of you guys' point in terms of the general ed classes that they give, not just within like say the middle all the way up to the high school level, but also like the colleges as well. There has to be like a better way, not just to kind of like just get those institutions to prepare us as people to be better equipped. But to your point, I want to touch up on a point, Tony, that you mentioned earlier. It starts at the home. And this is one of the reasons why I get mad at people that always tell me, oh, well, what do you mean it starts at the home? I don't know how to do that. Well, that's where you ask for assistance. That's where you ask people who, my thing is this, if anyone wants to develop into a better person, change your support group, change your environment. Okay? Because, for example, if a person is around a group of people that is generally around things that are either toxic or dangerous or not even that severe, maybe if it's just negative, the habits of that person that decides to hang around that particular group are going to inherit those habits. Like person. If you want to know how you want to, say prepare yourself or prepare your loved ones, or even if it's just something that you want to, just learn in particular, like a different skill, don't just be complacent and be like, oh, well, my child, he's going to go to college, and when he gets out, he's not going to have a job. No, I'm going to be that daggone parent or that uncle or whatever case may be to be like, oh, okay, if he's in college and if he's interested in, say, sports broadcasting, I'm at least learn a little bit of sports broadcasting myself. So that way, by the time he gets out of college or the case may be, he's going to have a little bit more extra knowledge for him to prepare into that particular field. So I feel like it's
I'm getting my
to both
internships too in school.
Yeah.
And another thing, what you said, AV, like you are what you around. You know what I'm saying? You are what your environment. You become your environment eventually. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you're around a whole bunch of dope boys, you're gonna become that. If you're around a bunch of successful young entrepreneurs, you're gonna be that. If you're around lazy bums who don't do nothing, who just sit there and leech off people, you're gonna become a leech because you're around that. You're gonna become what you're around. That's all you see is that. That's all you see is that. So if you don't see any different, you're not gonna do any different. What the heck? Like, we still start at the home. It does start at the home, bro. Because if your kid at 5 sees you out here doing drug deals, at 15 sees you this day on same thing, what he gonna do? He gonna do what the dope boy did to you back when you was 5.
Right.
Gonna start selling people this ish that you selling you. Why? Because they got hustle. They gotta make money because all they see is what's going on in the hood. Why? Because you didn't get your kid out of the hood. Duh. Not rocket science. Get your kid out of the hood and they see a yuppie neighborhood. When you see his kids going to school, his kids doing what they're supposed to do, obeying their parents, respecting their parents, and take commandments, honor their father and their mother. And doing what they're supposed to do, they're going to fall in line with their around because they're around that. You can't tell your kid to behave, and they already see his kids act like hoodlums.
Exactly.
Oh, indeed. It's the truth, man. I see it all the time. Especially in PG County.
But you have outliers. Like, I lived in the hood. That's all I seen was the hood. Also, I saw a little bit of yuppiness when I walked right around the corner from the hood. I see I like they got some daggone sense. So I said, and like those kids, I got some damn sense. But not every kid is going to do that.
Unfortunately.
So you need to make sure your kid's environment is susceptible to what you want your kid to be. You want your kid to be a hood, keep him in the hood. Cool. Go ahead and do that. Go ahead and do that. If you want your kid to be successful, you want your kid to excel in this life, and more importantly, be the best version of themselves they can be. Them out that environment, it doesn't help them. It only makes it worse.
Exactly.
It does. Make sure your kid going to a good school. A school. I don't care if you got to pay that kid's tuition. Make sure that kid's going to a good school.
Oh yeah,
make that sacrifice.
Yeah, you got to. You have to make sure.
Do for you.
There you go.
Do what your parents didn't do for you for your kids.
Pass it down, man. Just
look,
pass it.
Yo, let's snap it for Protect real quick because look.
I want to do for my kid what my parents do for me. Shoot, my father made sure I was in the best school possible.
There you go.
And what the circumstances were.
All right, now.
It might not have been the best situation for me at that time, but my mom made sure she put me in the best school possible at that time.
She did a great job.
Period.
Amen. Amen. The mother T.
Mama T.
I was in a tough situation that was school. So all that, I can't do this for my kid. I don't want to hear that.
Bullshit. Bullshit.
Get your kid in the best school possible. Get your kid in the best neighborhood possible. Now, if you can't afford to get out the hood, okay. All right, fine. Respect. Get your kid in the best schools possible. So them 8 hours there at school, they're the best school they can be.
Right,
so they
and
know how
I'll say this too.
When they go home. Come on, bro. Ain't rocket science. Let's start
right, no, and I'm with you, Protect. Oh yeah, no, I feel you, Protect, because even to your point, even if that parent or parents per se can't necessarily get their child or children into a better school or a case may be, at the very least, and this is what I always tell people that I actually mentor that are either at the same age as me or people that are even older than me. You have to put yourself in environments that are outside of your comfort zone. Because if you really want to grow, there's a saying, if you want to go slow, go ahead and stay where you at. But if you want to go fast and steady and progress, you will challenge yourself and surround yourself outside of your whole comfort zone. Because I feel like that's another issue that not just with people, but also with institutions too. We see so many institutions stick to the same old tactics because obviously these tactics have been working, but what are they doing outside of working? They're not really inspiring people to critically and analytically think. That's one of the reasons why I'm always like texting my mentees on a daily basis, like, hey, if you don't feel like reading a book, which is fine, because not a lot of people like to read books like me, which is perfectly fine. You don't have to read a book. You can listen to audio. Shoot, YouTube. Thank God for YouTube. YouTube is probably one of the most convenient, easiest things you can learn stuff. And I know what a lot of old people are about to say later on in the comments. Oh, he's a millennial. You goddamn right, goddamn it. But at least I know how to utilize my daggone resources so I can get out of the comfort zone. Because when you don't try to push yourself out of your comfort zones or a case may be, that's where problems and inconsistent issues are going to occur. So, but I don't want to take up too much of you guys' time because we are coming up on the 40-minute mark. Any other thoughts or comments that you guys would like to mention? MarcSoChilled.
I'll let Marcus go ahead.
I was going to say, in future reference, if anybody's looking at this and y'all plan on having kids, please do yourself a favor. Be the best parent that you can be for your child, so that they can, when they grow up, they can become successful, whether they go to school or not. Because it's okay if they don't go to college, as long as they have a plan, such as getting in like a whatever career that they want to get, or going to the military. But just don't shut them down. Don't shut the dreams down. And I understand, sometimes it can be rough, but you just have to give it all that you got, so that when they at least turn 18 or 21, they know that they're going to be in the right hands, and it's going to be less pressure on the kid and yourself as a parent. So that's all I can say.
I guess my last remarks is, man, I piggyback on what Marcus said. Like, just be the best parent you can. Bro, put God first, bro. Put God first
Oh,
in the
that,
kids'
yeah,
life. You know what I'm saying? Put God first and allow that kid to grow. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Let that kid try to find what they want to do in life. Listen, like Chris said, listen to the kid, man. Hey, look, I want to do this in my life.
yeah.
Okay. All right, cool. But the kids change their dreams all the time. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
One day
yeah.
they want to be a forensic scientist. They say they want to be a basketball player. Whatever it is.
Or a
Just
firefighter.
support them 100% what they ever want
Yeah.
to do. They want that support. They want that support system. You need to be there for that kid. Whatever dream
Please.
they want to act, whatever dream they aspire to be, help them go for a fourth brother. You know what I'm saying? Don't shoot it down. You will never go to the NBA.
Oh, you can't do that.
Or
Yeah.
you will never be this forensic scientist you want to be.
Right.
That's too much. That's too much. Don't do that. No. Hey, look. My kid, he's like 17. He said, hey, look, I want to be an entrepreneur. Oh, okay. What you want to do? And what you want to do? What you want to sell? Oh, I want to sell clothes. Okay. Me and him and her mom, we gonna push them to do what they gotta do. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? We want to support our kid, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Our kid's dream is our dream, and that's what people gotta realize. Like, their dream is also your dream. You're their parents. You know what I'm saying? You
Amen.
might have something you might want them to do, but they have something they want to do. Also, just tell them to pray about it before they do it. You know what I'm saying? So,
Amen. Talk to God
put
first.
God first, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Let your journey as a parent be a smooth one, because it's going to be rough times. You know what I'm saying? But hey, just pray about when times get rough. Be there for that child. Discipline when they need to be disciplined, but be subtle with discipline. They don't need to be smacking your kids and all that big wild shit.
Oh, no.
No need for
right.
that. No need for that, bro.
Right. If you're a parent doing that, I can understand if you try to discipline your child, but that is a certain extent to where any parent or any guardian, for that matter, to be going that severe or that abusive, physically and mentally, because
it's useless. It does nothing for the kid, but make the kid more rebellious. So
yeah, definitely.
You discipline just hit the things they like best. Like, hey, you playing the PS25? I'm taking it.
PS25.
Hey, you said you want the you want to go with the iPhone 100? Oh, you can't have that. No,
like 20, 30 years.
Oh my gosh, no, give me the phone. No phone for you, kid. No. Get your grades up first. No. Okay, all right, Dad. All right, I ain't playing with you. You gonna be mad now? No, stop it. 6 months later, grades up. You get everything you want.
But see, that's the right way to do it.
Yeah,
that's the right way to do it. You make them do what they need to do,
and if they do it, doing what we're supposed to do, or he or she. You know what I'm saying? Because they want that gratification. When you get that gratification for doing what they're supposed to do, they will continue to do it.
Right.
Getting rewarded for it. And that's a life principle. You do what you're supposed to do, you will get rewarded those things. You will get rewarded the things you're looking for. And that's mentally, physically, and spiritually. So
exactly.
That's all I got for y'all, man. It's your boy.
Amen.
Yeah.
Hey, what's up? Amen. Well, on that note, I want to first thank my special guests, Potex Sports a lot, gang, and MarcSoChilled. Thank you guys so much for hopping into this episode. Wanted to definitely get the DMV squad up in here. So very, very blessed for you guys to hop up in here. But y'all stick around for a little bit because I'm going to interact with y'all once I end this podcast. So yeah, definitely appreciate you guys. Love y'all. We're definitely going to have to link up, during these pandemic as the pandemic is starting to lessen down a bit. No big wild stuff though, but we can do some shit.
Especially me, man. I ain't the same anymore, man. Yeah, I ain't the same. Y'all know how I used to be.
19's in the way.
Oh man, yeah. Right. I'll hit y'all up in a second.
All right.
All right, y'all.
Yeah. All right.
Well, guys, thank you guys so much for hopping into another episode of Matters of the People. For those of you who are new, also that shout out to the one person that's actually been able to be willing to watch this entire podcast. That makes my entire day. So thank you so much for watching this entire podcast, along with my special guests in MarcSoChilled and Potex Sports. You can actually follow Protect Sports. He has his own YouTube. So if you enjoy a lot of sports content, especially if you're Washington team. So I was about to say Redskins. so I was about to say Redskins. But if you are a Washington football team fan, please be sure to check out my boy Protect Sports. He also has a second YouTube channel in the A Life of Tony, A.L.O.T gang. So please be sure to subscribe to his YouTube pages and YouTube channels as well. Also, MarcSoChilled. I'm not sure if he has any YouTube channels yet, or if he has a social media that you can actually follow him at. But if you would like, I can definitely, with his consent, I can definitely post that in the description as well. But thank you guys again for watching another podcast of Matters of the People. I will be uploading 2 videos today. One of them will be touching upon a issue that I've had heavy on my mind, especially due to the events that happened last week amongst the Asian community. But you guys will probably see that, if not within the next hour, probably sometime later on tonight. So with that, thank you guys so much for tuning into this podcast, and I will see you guys actually tomorrow. It will be my second episode of this week of Matters of the People. So be sure to stay tuned. If you are new, please be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And if you are subscribed, thank you. Please be sure to like and share the videos as well. I'm trying to push for my goal in getting 100 subscribers within the next 2 months. I know we can do it, AV Nation. I know we can do it, y'all. So let's keep pushing, as I will continue to make great, authentic content for all of us. Because at the end of the day, we cannot win without us doing it through peace, love, and transparency. Love you guys, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Deuces.